Let's change some oil.
Good morning, everyone. Meredith here with Madam Diesel. Today, we're getting out of the shop and going on a little mini adventure. I'm going to go help a client change her own oil and check some things on the engine. It's the beginning of spring season, and so a lot of boaters are getting their boats ready to start cruising this summer.
So to get started, we're going to need to take a couple things with us. Of course, we're going to need whatever oil we're using for the day. I love to have a little bucket. This is great for a garbage can that you know you won't leak. So when I pull the filter off and all the oily rags go right into this bucket, and I don't have to worry about, like a garbage bag breaking. You're going to want a filter wrench of your choice depending on the engine you're working on. Today we're actually working on a Perkins 6354. I really like these band style wrenches. I've had surgeries on my hands, so sometimes the plier style wrenches don't work out so well, but I can usually always get a filter off with one of these. And then of course, an oil filter. And then we need our oil extractor and jug. So this guy is an oil extractor from West Marine. I've had really good luck with this thing, even on the larger engines. I have it permanently taped together, and that way everything stays clean. This thing, once I get it started, it just sucks out the oil while I'm busy changing the filter. And just in case we run out of space in that guy, I'm bringing a jug with me to be able to just dump it into the jug and have an easy way to get it up the ramp when we're done. We're almost ready to go, but I'm going to grab just a few more things, one of which includes headlamp, because sometimes it's kind of hard to see inside the engine room. So whatever boat you have, if you have any dark spaces, really love working with a headlamp. And then just a couple miscellaneous tools in case I come across something like a clamp needs tightened or something like that. It's just easier when you have everything there. Normally I bring my tools with me everywhere I go, so that way if I'm doing an inspection on an engine, I'm ready to go. In this case, I'm here to change the oil. I've seen the engine before. In fact, a lot of the equipment is already on the boat ready to go. So I'm going to walk you through the process, and I'll see you in a moment. Alright guys, welcome to the boat. I've got my oil extractor, and I'm getting the little tube that fits down the dipstick hole ready to go. This extractor is a vacuum extractor from West Marine. I love this thing. It is super clean, and once I pump it up and get it started, I can move on to changing the oil filter, anything else, while it's doing the pumping. This engine happens to have a hand oil pump, but it's a lot more time consuming and messy, so I really prefer my extractor. It is sucking now, and we're going to get started on the filter. Don't forget to start the engine, warm it up prior to using the extractor. So now I'm getting my oil filter ready. I'm going to pre-lube that black O-ring on the top with just a little bit of oil. And I'm going to get that filter ready to put right on, just so we can minimize the mess we might make by removing the old filter. I'm going to get you resituated down here so you can see where the oil filter is. There's the old filter. Looks like it hasn't been changed in quite some time. There's our new filter and my wrench. And I'm going to set up, I like to put diapers underneath the old filter just in case any old oil comes out. I also like to be ready with the bucket and the new filter nearby, just in case this thing decides to make a mess. That way I'm ready to go. I can swap filters real fast and prevent, dumping oil all throughout the bilge. Once you get the old filter off, it is very important to double check that the black O-ring is with the filter. You don't want to double up your O-rings. And it is on, but you see me kind of recheck here in a second. Yep, it's off. And I'm going to spin on the new filter, and I spin it as far as it makes contact, and then I do about another 3/4 of a turn about. You don't have to kill these filters.
equipment, you don't have to look, you can just do it. Okay, so that's where you're putting the oil in. Do you use a funnel or just
sometimes
you've got like, a good aim?
Famous last words. I always pour sideways because then it doesn't glug.
Oh, there's another little hack. These are all great things. I think some of these videos that you see out there, people presume that people's knowledge base is perhaps greater than it is. And I really appreciate it when somebody will say, hey, I'm going to talk, back to basics here, but just in case you don't know, these are really great things to know. So do you just do a little bit at a time and let it move in?
Yeah, I knew I pulled about 4 point something quarts out, and obviously a whole gallon is 4 quarts. But I just want to, see where I'm at. Yeah, you can hear it draining down to the pan.
Yeah. So that's the oil dripping down to the bottom there. Okay. Sounds are a good thing to pay attention to, too, because then you know when something's not quite right, because it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
That's how I knew something was wrong with my car. It just sounded different.
Oh, we're almost there.
Cool.
So I always double check it, just in case the boat's been rocking or something, so you don't get a wonky reading. And you want to be accurate. And
can you overfill?
Yes.
Okay.
So I always fill it to the top line. And the reason I do the top line is as you run the engine, if it drops, I'm going to know that I started at the top line.
Oh, right.
Obviously anywhere in between the top and bottom line is safe.
So I have not actually had to put oil in it, because every time I've checked, it's been fine. The only time it needed oil put in was when we were leaving Ludlow and the captain did it.
Yeah, and you're burning a little bit of oil, and that's kind of normal for an engine this age. I would be surprised if it wasn't. But, get in the habit of just every time you gotta move the boat, check your oil and coolant, and just make sure you're within your range. So even though my dipstick has registered oil and at the full line, we still need to start the engine. So that's what I'm doing right now. We're just going to run it for a moment, enough to build some oil pressure and charge the oil galleries and fill that oil filter with oil, and then we're going to recheck our level afterwards. You may also notice that the stop solenoid on this engine is getting ready to fail. So here I am just double checking that oil level. I always check a couple times because it takes a couple moments for that oil to drain down all the way into the pan, and I want to make sure I'm not overfilling her engine. And so I check it 2 or 3 times, and we'll just top it off one final time, and then the engine is good to go. So the final thing I'm doing here, I'm just writing down the date and the hours of the engine, so that way we all can remember when the last oil change was. If you have a log, now is the time to record it in your log as well. Well, we are back at the shop now. Oakham and I just finished putting everything away for the night. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. Changing oil is really important, and one of those things you want to stay on top of at least annually, if nothing more. Check your owner's manual for what type of oil, what type of filter, and how often you should be doing it. This is not something you want to neglect. I know most of you are very good about not doing that. It's a relatively easy thing to do and a super, super important one. The next video, I'm going to take you guys along as we get into diagnosing a cooling system problem on the same boat. So follow along for that, and I will see you guys in the next video.